Hello, so this is my first actual video, but basically gonna start posting videos of my framework um, and just different features it has, how they can help you, and how to use them. So this video is really kind of just an intro into TinyMCE, the editor that's being used in my framework, and some of the customizations. So I already have it up. Basically, just looking at the view, on the sidebar here, you have a bunch of the miscellaneous app options that are specific to my framework. And you have a lot of your normal TinyMCE stuff, like the top menu bar, and then this toolbar that's consistent everywhere. If you click on different text, you might see a toolbar specific to them. But there's a lot of things, but I'll just touch on two things in this video. First is on the main menu bar, I did build in some customizations for like emulating the actual device size. So responsive, there's a mobile preview, a tablet preview, desktop preview, and responsive is just the default. It always takes whatever your screen size is. So that's helpful. And each of those, there's also little shortcuts, so you can always hit the keys to quick jump to it. I have a realistic app preview, which when you click on that, you notice the actual preview of the display changes. So when that's off, you can see that there's outlines around everything. But when I turn on the realistic app preview option back on, there's not those outlines. And if you look at the actual page when that renders, you'll see on this page that really becomes a one-to-one of what the editor's showing. There's a few things that are different, like this gray area that's a page break, because it's still useful to have some sort of indicator on the realistic preview, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get to that. Yeah. So let's turn the realistic preview back off. But then also the dark mode toggle, so you can see that lets you actually show dark mode while working on editing post, so you can know how it'll look in either view, whether it's the default light mode or dark mode. Just gives you an idea. Then something I built recently on the toolbar is this outline. And you'll see the outline when that pulls up is a sidebar within the editor. So if I click on that, I can jump to specific sections. It'll highlight in blue the area that I selected, even if I select from the editor itself. If I select multiple lines from the editor itself, it will still always know what that selection is. So that it very one-to-one can tell me what I've selected at that point, which is helpful. So let's say there's some odd element, like, oh, I'm trying to get this specifically to this column. It's like, oh, it jumps right to the selection. So then I can easily actually edit it over here now that I have the exact selection I was looking for. Now, having the editor in here, it makes it pretty easy to jump to those things anyway. But even more so, let's say you're in a realistic preview, it might be harder to get to something. Now, it still does have the little indicators to make it easy, but sometimes there might be just conveniences where you'd rather jump around via the outline. Also, what the outline will let you do is if you click an element and then you shift click to another element, it'll select everything in between. So that's helpful. Yeah. That's really all with the outline. Let's go back to the normal view. So then I also have columns feature, so you can either do columns wrap, which builds just the container element. I think it has one column in it by default. You can group elements, such as these are groups. So when you group element, it just wraps them together. That then lets you actually add custom classes, IDs, or styles to them. And then you can also add a quick and easy multi-column. So you're like, oh, I quickly need 3 columns right here, insert. So it builds that for you versus having you build the instead of you doing the column wrap and then trying to do add column, make this one 33%, make this one 33%, make this one 33%. Just something this multi-column feature just allows you to quickly build commonly used styles But at any point, if you're saying, hey, I need to add something to this, I need another row, you can just add one there. So it's either on a column, you can hit the plus button, it adds after, or if you click the wrapper, you can always add that and add one at the end. The benefit to a column one is it can add one right after the thing it's on. And when you click on any column, you can always click this arrow drop down to change the column width. So it's very easy to be like on the fly, like this one, I might make 66%. So you can see I got my multiple column, they all line up, everything's happy. Yeah, that's the general gist. Now anything in the editor, if you ever need finite control, you can always select anything and add extra classes to anything to customize exactly how it appears, how it lays out. So that gives you more finite control over nitty-gritty if you know how to write the classes themselves. So, but that's all just for a little quick introduction into the editor and different features that it has built in. Hope you learned something.